Go.
So, my name is Offield. This is my persuasive speech. Recycling is easy, and you can start doing it today. I first became aware of how many recyclable materials I would throw away every day when my wife and I took a trip to Germany, and were asked by the owner of the home we rented to sort out the recyclable materials from the trash. To assist us in doing so, there were at least 5 types of bins in the courtyard of our home. Luckily, the bins were color-coded to avoid any confusion. A yellow bin for cans, a blue bin for paper and cardboard, separate bins for glass, and a bio bin designed for leftover food and plant waste. Finally, there was a black bin for trash. In researching why Germans take time to recycle, I learned that the separation of trash is not compulsory for the private German citizen. But as reported by the BBC in 2005, around 90% of Germans are willing to sort out their trash. My desire to recycle was ignited during those 2 weeks when I saw that we only accumulated 1 small kitchen-sized bag of trash, and yet we had sorted and disposed of the equivalent of approximately 2 large kitchen-sized bags of recyclables at that time. So I asked myself, if I could recycle on vacation, why can't I recycle at home? Recycling is something that is relatively easy to do in the U.S., yet not many people do it. In fact, according to Alex Hutchinson in his December 2008 article titled, "Is Recycling Worth It?" PM investigates its economic and environmental impact, published by Popular Mechanics magazine, Americans haul 82 million tons of trash to recycling centers each year. In December 2002, social science studies conducted by ASCETI Associates of Arlington, Massachusetts, and funded by a grant from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, found that understanding what motivates people to recycle and discourages them from doing so is the first step towards increasing participation. This study included the factors which contribute to an increase in people's participation in recycling programs include the perceived effectiveness of recycling, concern about the environment, social pressure, and financial motive, while barriers to recycling include inconvenience and lack of knowledge. So you may ask, what is the first step to recycling? The first thing we need to know, or the first step to recycling, is to learn what can be recycled. According to the website bringrecycling.org, which cites to the California Department of Health Services Handbook for Toxic Substance Control, Americans throw away about 35 billion aluminum cans a year. If all these cans were recycled, we would save an amount of energy equivalent to 150 Exxon Valdez oil spills annually. And did you know that it takes more than 500,000 trees to produce the newspapers we Americans read each Sunday, yet only 30% of the new newspapers get recycled? This fact is taken from headwatersrecycle.com in an article titled, "Why Recycle?" In fact, people in the United States throw away 2.5 million plastic bottles an hour. This fact, published by the Clean Air Council, is only one of many intended to make Americans more aware of why we should recycle plastics. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, in addition to aluminum, paper, plastic, glass, and other metals, and used motor oils are all recyclable, and your yard trimmings can be recycled in compost also. Now that we know examples of what can be recycled, let's look at some of the most common myths that explain why people don't recycle and answer why these myths should not be believed. Studies have shown that Americans do not recycle because of several basic misconceptions. First, it costs more to recycle than to make things from new materials. However, according to Nikki Scott, author of Reduce, Reuse, Recycle, an easy household guide, the Chelsea Green Guides, this is not true. Many recycled products not only save energy and water, but also reduce raw material usage and the associated energy and pollution caused in the process. Also, it is a myth that washing out cans and bottles to ready them for recycling uses more energy than is saved by recycling them. If you wash them out at the end of doing dishes, you're not wasting any energy at all. Finally, many people believe all paper, plastic, metal, and glass dumped into the recycling bins has to be painstakingly sorted by hand. However, according to Alex Hutchinson, in his 2008 article published in Popular Mechanics magazine titled Recycling Myths, PM Debunks 5 Half-Truths About Recycling, today's modern state-of-the-art recycling facilities have a host of sorting technologies that solves these problems. So why should you recycle? There are definite overall benefits to America if people start recycling. Among the top 7 benefits of recycling, as reported by Michael Arms in his article, The Top 7 Benefits of Recycle, published by EisenArticles.com, recycling sharply reduces the amount of waste that gets deposited in our landfills or burnt in our incinerators. UrbanPartnership.org reports as a reason to recycle that recycling aluminum saves 90% of the energy required to make aluminum from scratch. While the cost benefits of recycling is still being debated, Popular Mechanics reports that 90% of material going to landfill has a market value. Given today's economy, it makes little sense to continue burying all of that value in landfills. Finally, you don't want to be the only one recycling on your block. The EPA says that by 1995, the U.S. was recycling about 28% of its waste, a rate that has almost doubled in the past 15 years. Recycling of specific materials has grown even more drastically. 42% of all paper, 40% of all plastic soft drink bottles, 55% of all aluminum beer and soda drink cans, 57% of all steel packaging, 52% of all major appliances are now recycled. In 2005, the American Forest and Paper Association released the results of its community survey, which confirmed that 20 years ago, only one roadside recycling program existed in the United States. Yet, by 1998, there were 9,000 roadside recycling programs and 12,000 recycling drop-off centers across the nation. In conclusion, recycling is easy. If you know what can be recycled, do not believe the common myths and keep most people from recycling, and understand the benefits of recycling. There is truly no reason why you can't start recycling today. At home, think about what you're putting in your trash, and before you drop it in, ask yourself, can this item be recycled? At work, think about that email you're about to print and ask yourself, do I really need to print a hard copy? In your community, pay attention to local recycling opportunities and ask yourself, how can I get involved? Remember, even if you can't recycle everything you usually throw away, choose one item and start recycling today.